Hello everyone, I'm Havoc and this is Factorio. We are back yet again for another fun-filled episode of factory building, dominating a planet, and using all of its resources, all so we can launch a rocket that we're not even going to be in. Yes, we are back in the glorious game that is Factory Building Mania. And when we left off last time, we had built our furnace arrays over here, and we have a nice little setup going. This all needs to change so that we can get going with some better stuff. I do want to take a quick glance at our pollution. Let's see here. We might be getting to the far side of the water there, and there could be something coming. Our natural barrier of forest is doing its job until we kill all the trees in it, that is. Oh, that sounds so terrible when you say it out loud. It's a good thing this is just a video game and not real life. But the factory must grow, so let's come up with a good setup for this. Now, I do want to, let's see, get rid of this steel build right over here. We're going to start by removing the fuel. And actually, that's the output line too. You should start with removing the inputs. I will leave the grenades producing. No, we don't need to. It's already good to go. So let's come back down here now and take out the inserters on the other side. I'm trying to do this in the cleanest way fashion so I don't have a big mess on the ground like this. Just stuff everywhere. But I have steel being produced in an actual furnace array. Yeah, all this is going to be rearranged here shortly. But what I want to do is get our outputs extended past if I decide to double the length, such as if we get to steel furnaces and red belts. Well, we are using steel furnaces. So if I want to get a full red belt out, I will need to double the length of this line. If I do upgrade to that in the future, and we may not, because I mean we're just trying to launch the rocket here. It's not anything crazy or off the wall. We're not building a mega factory, so I may not need that. But I don't want to build myself into a corner where I have no other options now because I did not plan ahead. So we will clean this stuff up, extend the output lines for our smelting our furnace arrays here long enough that if I am to double this, so take that and drop it down, that's what it would look like doubled. So this is the edge, and I want to leave myself a little bit of room, probably about 8 tiles, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, before I start to bring all of these into a balancer. And also, since there is water right here, I will bring the balancer to the left, so we will be going out this direction. And I want to maintain that 8 distance all the way down here, the 8 distance gap between this and the other ones. So we want to look here and see, when we combine these, what I'm probably going to do is something like this, where this last iron output belt here is going to be the main one that the others come join up to. So this one will then come right here. Again, this is leaving us the 8 belt gap here. This is the next one up in the line. We'll just come over like so. And I want the balancer to be probably right here, just as close to where they all come together as possible. Hello, tree, getting right in the way. And then we will take that output over momentarily. Another thing that I might want to do is drop it down for the copper and for the steel, just so I have a good idea over here of where these are going to come out at. Now, I'm going to want to have these a little bit closer It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a gap of 10. Actually, we'll leave it open. I might make a walkway down the middle there. So that might work out. But all we're going to do here is bring this feed belt in, the output belt over here. This balancer is one of the hardest balancers in the game. Done. A 2-belt balancer. So complicated. Over here we're going to do, if I can place things correctly, I'm going to do a normal balancer on this side. Like so. And that is a 4-belt to 4-belt balancer. As long as my brain is working correctly, I believe that's right. It's been a little bit, but you know, stuff happens. It's the same thing I did right down there, right? Yes, okay. So it's like riding a bicycle, you never forget. Possibly, sort of. Also, I see a problem. There we go. We only have copper on 1 belt. And that's because we only have 1 belt being mined. That makes sense. It's all making sense. We are going to go ahead and do another setup. I should have enough undergrounds to do this. I do not have enough. You need... Oh, I do. I was looking at the burner miner drills. No. You need 30 drills going at full speed in order to supply a solid belt. Now, how many is this? I don't think that's... Yeah, it's 1 shy of 15. And this one's going to run out super fast anyways. This one probably will as well, which means we will need to supplement this line with a handful of miners. And I'm going to do that by clearing just a few trees. I do have grenades. This is how you cut trees. You use grenades. And I'm not sure why that turret was sitting there with no ammo in it. That doesn't do any good whatsoever. But I don't have an awful lot of ammo. We'll drop just a little bit. That is piercing rounds, so a little bit should go a long ways. And now we just need to drop our undergrounds in the pattern. It's really simple. Once you have one already set up, you can simply look at the row below and see where things go. And I'm also running around out here, so I'm not getting pushed around by anything, such as these belts that I'm now placing. I'm going to go ahead and get this line hooked up and running, and then we will add the extra miners that I know that I'm going to need to fill that belt all the way. And I'm probably just going to drop down like this, because a lot of these again are going to run out of power very quickly. And I was considering feeding into the back end of this line, but I think what I'm going to do in order to keep it simple is just set it up as if I have all the miners I want over here, because I'm probably going to need to come in and drop more in. And then I'm just going to add a splitter right there. Get rid of this ore I don't want to be toting around, and then we will power these miners at the end, and we will be in good condition as far as our copper supply. That was simple and easy. That's how I like it to go. There we go. And now the steel. We're going to do the same thing where I don't want to come any closer than that. So we'll run this on out. But I don't want giant gaps. We're going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this will be the steel. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm leaving myself space just in case, you know, this is probably going to become very spaghetti at some point in time. Since I'm not trying to build a mega base that's neat, orderly, and perfect. And I want to have room to sneak belts in here and there. Get that glorious spaghetti going. And we'll get rid of those. So that's looking nice. Now what we need to worry about is how are we going to set up a mall and other things. My research, I still have plenty of stuff that reds and greens can make. So I think while I'm setting other stuff up, well, I should have not possibly cleaned all this up. Just so I can keep progress going, I'm going to split some copper off and run it over to here. Give me some more undergrounds and then a few splitters while we're at it. Yes, so we will drop that there. And just keep that going, because what I need to do is pretty much anything that's simply red and greens research. Explosives, am I going to need that for the rocket? I mean artillery, so of course we're going to need that. Let's throw that in there. And then we're going to keep just moving along with anything that is red and green. And on that topic, some of these researchers will move pretty quickly, some of them will move a little slower. I think it's probably wise to tack on at least a few more research labs, just because I don't want to be waiting forever on researches. Is that? No, that's not where that should go. Should connect like so, and then I believe, no, that won't power another full set. That's okay. I'm thinking ahead here about, you know, I'm trying to maximize a single power pole's coverage. The things that Factorio does to your brain when you could just, you know, just roll with it. Just put a power pole down. It will be okay. It will be okay. People will survive. Let's get rid of this, and we are going to go ahead and upgrade the output of our research labs, as I know I just increased the belt, and that might be why that's shrinking down, but it could also be that I don't have enough production to keep up with the demand that I have now. And obviously, if you increase these labs, you're going to need to increase these assembly machines to the next tier. You need to increase your resources that are feeding them. So we need to make sure, where are the belts being made for this? Right here. We need to make sure that everything feeding those assembly machines making our science is also keeping up with it. So that should definitely help, because now the crafting speed is 0.75. It's still not a full crafting speed, but it was 0.5 before, and that is just unacceptably slow. And we're a little ways away from the next assembly machine, more than a little bit of ways. So, but I do want to pocket craft as many of these as I can, because I am going to need these when I start our mall area, and I'm going to cancel some of those so I'm not making so many gears by hand. That should be much faster. This whole setup is obsolete since we're not feeding steel in here, and I have plenty of steel furnaces for the near future. Another thing that's obsolete is running this belt right through here when I can just drop steel right in this area, and I do want to keep a little bit on me because I'm going to need that for crafting. Alright, now we're going to need to move our turrets further out as we expand. And our mall needs to happen shortly after we do a realistic circuit build, a bigger circuit build. That is a normal circuit build there, but what I'm thinking is I'm probably going to drop the circuit build right here and then add it to the belt, the main bus line, and the bus will go up here. This should be enough room to fit in everything we're going to need. Again, I don't need a mega factory because I'm just trying to launch a rocket here. I mean, and I enjoy Factorio. I'm just having fun. All right, and there we go. How many turrets do I have on me? Only a couple. I had turrets being made, right? Didn't I? Somewhere? Right here. That's where they are. We're gonna grab out a stack, and I should have ammunition filling up down here. I don't want to use the piercing rounds in the turrets that could potentially be destroyed because that's very expensive. I am going to drop some resources in here though, so it can be making me personally some more piercing rounds. And then I'm going to get a setup, made to automate that. But I always like to make sure that I can keep the biters at bay if they decide to show up and upset me. So stay away from my factory, or you're going to find out what happens. I don't think in vanilla Factorio I'm going to need some crazy wall of China with laser beams on it. I mean, I'm probably going to get laser turrets later because they're really going to ramp up when I start producing oil, and that's going to be a lot of pollution. But missed a tree. But I don't think I'm going to do anything crazy just yet. So in the meantime, I will just drop a handful of turrets out. And 100 rounds of ammo is way too much for a single turret. I like to do 25 per turret. Again, because there's a very good likelihood that if these get swarmed, 1 or 2 will get destroyed. And I don't want a whole stack of ammo in there because these things take a lot of iron and time to make. Where's it at? Yeah, it takes 4 and it crafts, what, 1? It says magazine size 10, but I'm pretty sure it counts as 1 in the stack, and that 1 has 10 rounds in it. Alright. I might actually just put a few more up in this direction, a few more turrets up in this direction. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be a mess. I miss even distribution. Oh, not grenades. Having a grenade turret would be hilarious, though. A turret that just chunks grenades. There might possibly, likely, already be a mod for that, but I have not seen it. And I think that'll be good. Now we can work on the green circuits build, and I want to keep in mind that I can't really come below this line right here because this is where the steel smelter is going to come out. So I want to leave a little bit of room, and in fact I might go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces from that, and this is where one of the copper feed belts is going to come out for the line, and I want to leave a little bit of room, not 4 spaces, probably just 2 spaces. So the first assembler needs to be here. And again, a lot of this is just me thinking about the future, and that I, in the past, have been very, very bad about trying to keep everything close together, and I end up later spending an hour to get a single belt of something through somewhere. And it can be very frustrating. I also I'm going to build one mirrored setup here to begin with, just to get it producing, and that way I can get a mall that's making my inserters, my fast inserters and everything for me. I have plenty of greens. Grab a couple of stacks. What do I need? Iron plates. You never have enough iron plates. Let's just take all of that. And I will be using very fast inserters here because I want these things to get fed as fast as possible, and then pass that on, because it takes a copper plate every half second. Well, slightly less than that because we're not at crafting speed of 1 yet, but we're not going to sweat the mathematics down to the last millisecond and all of the things. If every machine is all crafting at the 0.75 speed, which they will be, then you don't have to do a whole lot of math. Hello. Copy that over. Thank you. Now for here, same thing. We are going to direct insert. See, these take... No, they're half a second craft. I was going to say they take a little bit longer. So I was going to consider not using fast inserters for extracting from the assemblers, but that would not be a good idea. So this will be iron, this will be copper. We are going to balance the belt like so. I want to leave lots of room, so we will use the full extent of an underground belt. Now also, it's good to use the full extent of a belt whenever you can, because you've already paid for the belt, right? So if you look at this, it takes 5 transport belts to make this, and it covers the length of, what, 6, right? Because there's 4 spaces in between and then there. Now, if I were to place this down like so, that right there still cost me 5 transport belts, even though it's taking up the same amount of space as 2 transport belts. Right? So by using the full extent, I'm not having to place extra transport belts here to get the full length. Now anyone really could... You should probably know that, but you know, it's just a little tip if you're not thinking about it, because you're thinking about these 700 other things, 7,000, 7 million other things there are to worry about in Factorio. This is the laziest way to do this right here. As in, I really should be balancing this better, but I'm going to do this in the most horrendous way possible right now, just because I don't have a lot of resources. Oh, it's painful to look at, but there we go. That will make sure that this belt gets what it needs over here. Oh, it just feels wrong. Just feels wrong to be so sloppy, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. We're gonna let it happen, and I'm out of belts. That's okay. Now, I should be able to power this. Here I am sweating power poles again. Goodness. I also like it to just look orderly, and the power lines do not look orderly there. Oh, let's see. You can do this. You can take copper coils and control click to disconnect, and then run them manually. And now I have no weird crossing lines. It seems silly, but it feels better to do that to me than just having it look like a mess. I also would like to run some power out down the side here, just mainly because I don't know where I'm going to be trying to sneak things in. And that gets this powered up. Wait a minute, how did I misplaced that pole, and now it's going to make a mess when I place it. What a shame. Let's do it like that. There we go, we fixed it. Why didn't any of y'all tell me I misplaced that? Come on, guys. Help me out here. Okay. I'm going to mirror the other side of that, and then we're going to have a very decent amount of green circuits output. I'll grab that. And then belts should have plenty of them. My inventory is full. Why do I have a ton of coal? Might it be from when I picked up the smelters that were doing steel? Quite possibly. We're going to dump this just because I don't want it filling up my inventory. The stone can stay. Wood is actually useless at this point. And I really should make a dump chest. Hey, wait just a minute. Here we go. I can put all of these old things that I'm never going to use again, where the burner miners, into the spaceship. Now, it does not have enough space to hold everything. We're going to dump the wood here. The likelihood of me using that wood is very small. Wooden chests, not going to happen. Be using steel from now on. I believe that's it for right now. What do you need to continue producing me some ammunition? Probably some additional steel, and that copper will work just fine for that. Clean up these poles here. The small power poles will also be recycled. Can you burn these? I think I remember seeing a video about someone saying you could burn them. I'm curious now. No, okay. That might have been a silly video where they're trying to get people or something, I don't know. But let's go ahead and get our second line. And here we're going to do some even more ridiculous and interesting things. I'm just going to take from the other side and underground belt it. This feels hilarious. It's so bad, but it works. It most certainly works. The reason that I'm doing this is I don't want to constantly take from one side of our bus here. And this is absolutely horrible. I need to get some splitters being made so I don't have to pocket craft them. I will come back and I will fix these. I say that, and that's not a promise that I'm not going to keep. I say that because this is going to irk me every time I walk past it and see that. That's how I know it'll get fixed. It drives me crazy. Now, I can make this super simple by creating a blueprint, and then what is it? G to flip it. Haha! Now I don't have to use my brain to figure out where things go. There's so many other things my brain has to worry about. Give me a break here on this. I'm probably not going to have enough fast inserters. I'm curious. Will the power lines hook up like they're supposed to? If you use a blueprint? Oh, okay. Now my brain is really going with some ideas there of how to get things to look really nice. I can make blueprints, organize the wires in the blueprints, and then put them down. I don't know if that's how it works with robots, as that's really what I would like to be building my factory, not me. So, I mean, maybe that will work, maybe that won't work. We'll find out at a later date. For now, I would like to get this powered. I will just put a crossover power pole right there. And that gets this side powered. Now we need to run some copper over here. And for this one, you don't really need to do anything fancy. I don't need to take from the other side. I can just put a splitter here. Again, well, this actually, there's no... I don't know of a super better way to do that, really, so it'll be alright. It's not going to be the end of the world. This is going to give me an awful lot of greens. Now I need to be thinking about buffer chests for these items specifically. So, oh, and I'm silly. Here I am forgetting the steel line runs through here. So let's drop those down. That's what you get for not running the lines. Okay, and then the greens I will probably realistically bring into here somewhere in the middle. And I might actually run multiple in here. No. That's not a good idea. I was going to make a walkway in here. Here I am forgetting my plans already. A walkway right down the center of the bus made out of concrete when I get to that point. Do I have concrete yet? I could be making it. It does take iron ore to make concrete. For some reason in my mind that was only a modded thing, but no it is not. Okay, so, and here's another situation where we're going to extend the undergrounds. And then we are going to use this space for greens. And I will likely run reds right next to this at some point in time. In fact, let's use the inside of the bus lane for the greens, and I might use the outside for the reds when I tack them on. As far as how many this can produce, really if I feed this with a lot, this can produce a lot. Each one of these machines can make, what, 2 a second? Not realistically, because they're moving at 0.75. But if they were moving at 1.0, this is 2, 4, 6, 8 a second. That's more than a yellow belt can handle. Now, since they're moving at 0.75, this will not be able to keep a full yellow belt going. It's going to be a little bit less, right? Because 0.75 out of 8 is math. And I'm going to pull up a calculator real fast because I'm not feeling like figuring this out on my own. 8 times 0.75 is 6. Wow, I feel really stupid now. That's okay. So this is going to produce 6 a second if I keep it fed at full speed. Right? So 6 on one side, 6 on the other. We're getting 12 greens per second out of the 15 this belt can hold. I could go ahead and tack on one additional section here, like 2 more green assemblers either side, and that will be more than what a belt can handle. But right now what I want to do is get our mall up and running, and then I can worry about increasing the output on specific production lines later. And the mall is going to be off to the left here. In fact, I'm probably going to put it right next to the circuit builds, mainly because I am going to be running to this area often to grab from our buffer chest, and I don't want to have to run all over the place. Just using a grenade for one tree feels excessively wasteful. Oh, there's my turret right there. Yeah, let's not blow that up. It helps if you pay attention to what you're doing. It's hard to think, talk, and play all at the same time. How do those other people do it? I have an odd sense of humor. Maybe some people get me. I don't know. But it'll be alright. I'm gonna roll with it. and get some stuff made. Also, I just realized our research is not moving, and that's criminal. Let's see. We are actually starting to run out of things that can be done with only reds and greens. But we'll keep that moving. How is it looking over here? It's backed up, probably because I stopped, researching and did not realize it for a few moments there. Now, I'm going to leave 4 spaces right here in between the start of my mall and this build, just in case I need to bring anything through. This is going to be a feed belt that is likely going to have greens and steel on it. So usually what I like to do for the mall is figure out things that require copper, right? So there are things like the power poles, electric poles, and such that are going to require some copper. Everything else usually is going to take gears, gears, iron plates, greens, and the such. So it's easy to put iron on a belt with gears, and then you put steel and greens on a belt, and you have the resources necessary to make almost everything. You may need to make like iron rods, for example, for the power poles, iron sticks. They're not iron rods. I'm over here thinking about Satisfactory at the same time. No, iron sticks for a handful of things. So I am going to do that combination belt where I put greens on one side of the belt and then steel on the other, and we will underground like so, and then simply drop a splitter down. Up next is going to be, like I said, the iron and then the gears. That's what they're called. And I need so many more splitters. These are one of the first things that I want to get going right over here. So this belt is going to be another combination belt, and I will combine them roughly here, sort of like I did with this one, where I'm going to do this number and then bring it right on down. Now, that is not correct because I'm going to be making the gears locally, right? So in order to do that, I want to walk back till roughly 2 machines in front of where this is going to start. So this is the start of the mall. This machine is going to make me belts, which means these two, and actually I may add a third over here to make gears. 2 is probably good for now. And by doing it like so, this is going to offload the gears to the far side of the belt, which means I need iron coming in to the top side of the belt, and I can do it like that. So now I just need to underground all of the places so that I can get our iron over there. Oh, it's painful. Okay. Now, I want to automate undergrounds as well as splitters. And I think I'm probably going to do that by putting 2 down here making belts, and I'm absolutely going to add an additional gear production right here. No, gear production. There we go. Looked at that, my brain said, that does not look right. I don't need belts being made out there. So the belts we're going to put on an output line over here. And those are going to be fed first into a buffer chest, which... how can I do that best? I might actually do that at the end, because I would like to make sure that I have undergrounds and splitters, and so I want them to get the belts before anything else. We're going to do it like that, and then I will be outputting to chests that sit out here. That way I can squeeze in and grab everything that I need. I do not want to produce excessive amounts of these, so we're going to go like that. And then in order to get a buffer chest down here at the end for the belts, I can simply do it like that. And belts I do want probably like 4 stacks, actually even 6 stacks is likely to be the best way to go with that. And now it's as simple as feeding this in. So these are also going to need plates, these are going to need plates and electric circuits. So we can do that by dropping this down and that. Now I could drop power there and then there. Looks nice. Seems like you're not getting enough iron plates, and that's because you need 10. So that should keep that moving. Now that'll help me out a lot. I can fix those balancers later. Right now I want to keep working on the mall, because the more I can get produced for me, the better. Okay. Belts. Next up is always going to be inserters for me. And I want the 3 major ones, the regulars, long-handeds, and fast. And the regular inserters are used by both of these. So we're going to do something very similar to what I did here. And that I'm going to say, I probably want to make 2. That's, no, not a burner one. No. 2 of the regular inserters. These are very simple. You're just going to want 2 belts grabbing the plates and the gears, and then the other ones will be grabbing the blue circuits, the green circuits that are there. Let's see. I can actually power that by dropping a pole there. And we're going to do, like I said, exactly like we did here with this. We're going to pass these and use them in the next 2 assemblers. So our long-handed and our fast inserters will both sit here. And actually, the stack inserter and the filter inserter both use fast. Oh, wait, no, the filter inserter uses fast inserter, and that uses fast inserter. Okay, so that's interesting. I don't actually think I'm going to have those made just yet, because number one, you don't need an awful lot of filter inserters. I don't need for my builds. And then stack inserters I can't afford yet. I do not have red circuits just yet, so we're going to have to go with what we can make. And let's see, we need roughly the same setup as right over there, with this one needing green circuits as well. I'm out of belt. Oh no. Wow, look at all of that belt already made. Got to love malls. Not the real life malls, goodness. Human interaction? Pff, I'm a Factorio player. Who interacts with other human beings? I have a factory to build. Alright, we are going to restrict this. We are going to restrict this. There we go. And this one. So what are we missing? Iron plate. Yeah, so this is going to be the issue here. I can upgrade this to red along this length. It'll help slightly, but really until these back up, so you know, first come, first serve, anything down the line is going to have to wait, which is why I started with the belts, undergrounds, and inserters, splitters, excuse me, and then moved on to the inserters. So yeah, that's another issue that we might need to look at. Is in fact, I have the resources. So if I upgrade this to red, it will increase the amount that I can feed on the inside. I mean, it doesn't just increase it a little bit, it doubles the amount of iron plate that I can move down the inside. And that will help, as long as it's fed in here as fast as it can. And I could potentially make these two red splitters and that. Oh, why not? Some undergrounds. So, by doing this, and then upgrading my undergrounds to reds, I will drastically increase the amount of iron getting on here. It most likely would have been able to keep it nearly full before, but now it most certainly will. The inside of that will stay stocked. And that's good. That'll keep all of these moving. Question is, are the three little ones making gears going to keep up? Probably not, to keep everything running, especially as I add more down here, but that's okay. We can also mirror this on the top side. Our research is done already. I just glanced over there and realized that. It's looking good. So, Cliff Explosives looks like the last new unlock. Everything else is just going to be increasing damage, firing speed, mining productivity. Yeah, let's get some of that. We like that. We like that. Okay, so next, I always like to go with assemblers. So we're going to drop down this, and this is where it's just, I'm going to directly insert. I will never use an assembly machine 1 for anything. So we're going to directly insert like so. And everything else can just continue down. I will just keep going down through here with the red belt, just to make sure we're getting the throughput that I want here. Greens. This one needs steel and greens. And here we are going to have an output. I'm going to put it right there, just so it'll be nearby to the other chest. And the reason I'm doing this is I'll put a walkway through here eventually that's probably going to lead over here to the main walkway when I get production of concrete going. Now, what do I need for this? I need stone brick, and I need a little bit of iron ore and some water. So there's no reason to put this in the mall. There's no reason to put it really as a major line. I can probably slap it off here over to the side, since I can steal a little iron ore from right over here. And actually, you know, if we think about it, I'm making stone bricks right here. I can mine right here a little bit of iron, and I can just bring some water from right next to this. So my concrete production, I don't have squeak through. I'm trying to run between that little corner and machines. My concrete production should just be right down here. And I don't need it to be off the wall, crazy, you know, major amounts of production. I just need it running pretty much all the time. So if it's running steadily, this is something where I will not actually buffer, or excuse me, not buffer. I will not restrict the buffer for this at all. We are going to let this just run and make me concrete. Iron ore, stone brick, and water. We'll bring the water in from the side. Right there's where our stone bricks and iron ore will come from. This is very, very simple setup. And I don't think I'm going to be fast enough to really need a stack inserter for extracting. Can I steal water from here? I'm pretty sure I'm producing more than enough to simply do that. And that shouldn't cause any issues for what I have going on over here. So let's look. We've already seen that you don't need 2 fast inserters, because this actually takes 10 seconds to craft, and it makes 10 of them. I don't even need a fast inserter to take out of there. 1 will be just fine. This gets us concrete. Do we want to upgrade the concrete? That'll take steel, iron sticks. Walking speed is 150%, walking speed is 140%. I don't think extra 10% walking speed is worth all of the extra materials and bother at this point in time. When we have our factory up and running better, then sure. And actually, now that I've seen how slow this is, I think I want to do something a little bit different here, because that's going to take forever. I knew it was going to be slow, but my goodness. Maybe 3 machines. And then we will run the water above it. And we will just output down here with long-handed inserters. And I'll put a buffer chest at the end, right there. Actually, I don't want it behind a power pole, because it might be hard to see that sometimes. I'm going to put it as a fast inserter this time, since we have more outputs that will be coming. So, water. And I'll just do regular ones. Seems like a waste to do any undergrounds for that little turn. There we go. And this uses 100 water in 10 seconds, so that's 10 water a second. That is nothing. This thing down here can produce 1,200 a second. And even when it peaked just then, it barely got over 1,000, so we're good there. But this ought to help. I'm going to need an awful lot of it. So 3, again, it's not crazy fast, not a major assembly line. Hello, miners that are out of ore. I will take you back. Repurpose you somewhere else eventually. Right now, you're just going to be carried around with me. Don't want ore in my inventory. Okay. That was a little distraction, but I want to get this going simply because I'm going to be running through here often, and that little bit of extra speed is going to help, and I can just run down and grab what I want. And then I'll have outputs on the other side as well for another row over here of things that we might need. Oh man, it is good to get a real mall going. Look at this. Feels good, feels right, my friends. Now I can just get what I need. Let's see. What should we do next? Miners are good to have being produced. I like to do that after my assembly machines. And if you look, it's nothing special. Again, it fits right down this line here, where all I have to do is that. Drop in my inserters and give it some power. Now, I don't want a ton of miners, so we will restrict that one again. Let me go. I was making miners somewhere else. I want to clean that up while I'm on the topic. It's getting dark. On the topic of cleaning up, I realize it's probably hard for y'all to see, so let's remedy that. I keep forgetting that I don't have the mods in that make it daytime all the time. Or not daytime all the time, but make it as bright as day. There we go. I should actually make these lamps. See, here's an exception where I would not normally have this in, and this is going to take copper. So that is going to go on the other line up here, where I'm going to have power poles and other items that's going to require copper. Since I don't want to try and, like, weird a copper line in here somewhere, wiggle it around in some spaghetti. That'll be on the other side. In fact, might be a good idea to simply go ahead and get that up and going. It'll be alright for the moment. I don't want to go too crazy. I would like to, before I forget, let's clean up the areas that are making redundant items. And by that I mean I don't need this making me miners. Now that I have that in the mall, we'll pick those up. And I should probably go put some of these back in the mall. That way it's stocked. I don't need... Well, I'm saying I don't need this. Technically I still do need the production of medium power poles, but I have enough right now that I don't need to worry about it at this moment. So I can stop having it produced. And let's see, gun turrets are good to keep going. That's fine. Grab the gears. That's actually a lot of gears. Maybe I don't need to carry that many around. Let's put some of these into buildings. There we go. I do want to keep quite a few, but not so many that I don't have what I need. Yeah, see? This is such a terrible way to do this. That's why you have this throughput issue over here where it's not actually balanced. I would ideally like to separate that loss in feed across all 4 of the belts instead of the one. And we'll take care of that shortly. But let's get down here and work on the other side of this output. So if I were to have a chest here, that is going to be put in like so. And that means that my assemblers will be along this line. I did that just to get the placement right, so I have the spacing correct here visually. The first one that I want to be in place should be in line with this one as far as making items. So the power poles are different here in that this is going to take steel, it's going to take copper, that copper and steel again, and the iron sticks are the different thing for this side here. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be a trend for multiple things. Is what else uses iron sticks? Because I may not need... There we go, train stops, rail. Okay, yeah, I was trying to remember. I usually had certain things on this side because what I will end up doing is putting iron plate and iron sticks on one belt like I did over here, where you have the plates and then the gears is going to be plates and sticks, and then we're going to have a belt of copper and steel is the other thing that's going to go over here. And because this is not modded, my big power poles don't take any concrete. I'm remembering recipes from different mods and things, and it's confusing me slightly here, but let's see. What I'm going to need is, and I'm probably going to need another red belt of the iron plates. This one is less intensive, so we'll try it with the yellow to begin with and see if that's enough. I also will not need 3 for sticks, I don't believe. Again, we'll get it going and see what happens, but this is also going to need to grab the steel and the copper plates, so we will need to go like so. I'm going to place these at the far end. This is medium power poles. I already have some medium power poles, so I don't want it to go crazy making a bunch. When I get it powered, we will stop it like so. Let's go ahead and get this fed, and let's power it up and make sure that I'm not crazy and that this does function how I'm expecting it to. So here we're going to need iron, and it needs to be on the inside, so it needs to be fed in like so. Right. And then this one will be a combination belt that is going to include steel and copper. Like so. Alright. We will continue this belt up. Here, I think what I'm probably going to do is break off the steel first. Is this rock going to be in the way? Possibly, so we'll just remove it. That in line, it's good. Alright, that's my steel. The next up is going to be copper, which we have right here. Just need to run it up and then do our lovely fancy split work. That's going to be the underground. Perfect. And now we need to get iron over here. Need to grab my belts, and I can upgrade. I'll just pocket upgrade any of the items that we find along the way, such as when I'm picking up outdated assembly machines and things, I'll just pocket craft them into the better ones, rather than running all the way to the mall and dropping it in the buffer somewhere. That was an accident. I don't need belt over there. Okay. So that should get these things operational. And we can move on down the line and look at other things that are going to require the sticks. And let's see. We're going to do lamps next, even though it does not require sticks. That's... Oh, no, that uses green circuits. Ooh, okay. So this is interesting. I can add an additional line here, because a lot of things use green circuits. And just do this. Now, here's where I don't actually necessarily want a double belt of this, because that'll be a lot of greens diverting over here for no real reason. And if we look at this, we are going to need iron plate. So we are going to grab iron plate from here. And then in order to reach this belt, I will have to put in an underground there. And we need copper cables. Okay, so I can do something interesting here. And that is actually, let's remove this. I can put several things that all require copper cables running right down here, and simply output them to this side. Like so. And I'm not going to need this to be super fast. Again, I'm not going to need thousands of lights. I'm not going to need thousands of red and green wire. Or any of these. I am actually going to go ahead, since I'm spending the time, I'm going to automate this whole row here, except for power switches. If I need power switches, I'll pocket craft those. But the combinators, the green wires, and the lights are all about to happen right down through here. And let's see. Should be able to just run them down through here. This is going to be lamps. This one will be red wire, green wire, arithmetic, and decider. The last one is constant combinator. I'm not going to use a whole lot of these, but I might as well get them set up so that I will have them whenever I need them. And I'm going to need more steel. Using a lot of it to make these chests. I'm going to do 3 for the lights and probably just 1 for these other items. 1 slot. And did I miss any chests there? No, it does not look like it. Okay. So, these all are going to use copper wires. Like so. And then they will output. The inputs are going to be just green circuits, except for here where we need the iron plate. So we're going to do just like I was showing you a moment ago. We will underground so I can reach the green circuits like so. And then the rest of these don't actually need any of that. We will need the sticks and items. We're going to do this because the signals that will be down here at the end eventually are going to need the iron sticks. But the rest of these are just going to be grabbing green circuits. It looks a little bit odd. That's okay. Let's drop that one there, and that one there. I did that just to line up with the bottom side. It gives full power coverage, but it also looks nice. Looks are important. Now we're getting all of those items automatically crafted. So I will need stone, just blank stone for the rails down here. I might run that on the outside. I don't know. I can't remember if anything else uses stone in vanilla. Oh, I can't remember. Another thing that I should automate are pipes. Can't automate the pump because that will require the engine, and I'll probably do that somewhere separately. But pipes, definitely. Probably steel chest, actually. That's a really good one to have. And where's a good place to do that at? I'm probably going to drop that one right down here, because we're going to have rail signals right here. That and that. Yeah, all 3 of those. Let's actually get them set out. So we're looking at rail stops, rail signals, and rail chain signals. And this is going to be a continuation of this pattern to grab the green circuits. Like so. You need steel as well. I can put that one in there. You do not need steel. So, look at that. One power pole got them all. I really wonder sometimes if other people sweat, efficiency with power pole placement and where the lines go. Why am I making those? What am I doing? That's not what I want. I want steel chests. And signal, train stops, it goes to 10. We're going to do 1 stack of those. Signals go to 50. We'll do two stacks. 2 stacks, there we go. If I could click the right spot the first time, that would be amazing. That never happens. Okay. Steel chest. I will probably just drop that right here. It doesn't have to be anywhere special. We can grab steel from any side. We're going to do it from this side. And then we will output right there. We'll probably do 4 stacks because steel chests are going to be used for logic chest for your logistics network later, so there's no sense in sweating having some extra of those around. Now, I don't like walking so slow here, so I would like to go ahead and see how we've done with our concrete and see if it's looking nice. We have a good quantity, we should. I mean, with the 3 down here producing this whole time. It feels so far away because I don't have a jetpack or modular armor to have boots in, or what are they called? Hold on here. Have I already researched them? No, because you need electric motors. Did I miss it? Oh, right here. Exoskeleton equipment. That's what it's called. The exoskeleton. That's what makes you a fast, very fast person. Yeah, lots of concrete. That's good. So I'm going to put that concrete right down the center. I might come out over here somewhere to continue it elsewhere, but for right now... Whoa! It's going everywhere! At least you can pick this up very quickly. I mean, I could have left it out there, honestly, outside of the fact that I want to make sure I have enough to cover the areas that I'm going to be in right now. Because really, most people that play Factorio are going to concrete the entire world. Not just the factory, the entire world. If it's not all concrete, it's not right. And I will go ahead and underground this just so I don't have to walk over any buses. There we go. That's feeling much better. I can get to the mall quickly, get to what I want. You know, that 40% faster. May not feel like much, but it'll definitely help. And it scales with the exoskeleton suit too, I believe. So when you get over here and you have an exoskeleton, you'll be flying around, which is what I like to see. Now we really should continue with some additional items in the mall. So let's think about some other things. I did say I needed to get pipes down, and this seems like a perfectly good spot right over here. And I'm going to do like I did before, where I produce multiple pipes and output to a belt on the inside here. Go past the one that is going to make me the underground pipes. And then we'll buffer. Steel chest. What? I keep looking for them and I don't have them, but I have them crafted. There we go. And this is just going to require the input. Now this is going to chew through whatever iron is remaining after these. I mean, but these are all backed up, so they're not using it anymore, so that's just fine. Oh yes, don't forget to restrict. We'll do 3 stacks and 6 stacks of pipe here. That seems too much. We'll do 4. 4 of the regular pipes and then 3 of the undergrounds. I'm going to be using a lot of these when I get into oil. Why is this not going? Oh, that's because I am a little bit special here and did not leave room for this. I'll do that. There we go. Now that's good. Our research is caught up. And is that the last 2? I do believe after that I will have to get either blues or grays, which are military and chemical science packs. But that's okay. We've had all of that running in the meantime. This gets us a very good mall. What does it take to make labs? Labs take transport belts. How interesting. I don't really need to automate labs. You know, I thought about it. That's not something I've done in the past. And my brain was saying, hey, why don't we look and see? It makes sense. Transport belts, getting them over there. And you're not going to be using 1,000 labs unless you're crazy, you know, or building a mega base. I'm not building a mega base. Is there anything else that I really should be... Steel furnaces, I'm not going to need... Wait, no. That'll be in a production line later, though. That's not what I'm going to need for the mall. I think at this point we could worry about making some reds. But I don't think that would be ideal. That's going to consume a vast amount of resources, and I need to work on production lines. You know, we need to think about what are we going to do next. And that's going to probably be military science, because I need to work on my military prowess, my production of military items for defense anyways, because I don't know what's up here, and I'm certain that there's probably going to be some bad guys. The last thing I'm going to do here is drop some more lights in. Go ahead and grab some. I don't need that many. Remember to keep it bright and pretty for everyone on YouTube. Drop as many lights in as I can everywhere. But yes, we definitely need to put just a handful of turrets down right in this area. And probably right around here. I mean, I've got those right there, but the biters might come over and just start eating that. Really, I did clear this area out. I could just put some turrets here and then at the corner here, because anything that comes around is likely to come... well, I don't really know the pathing they'll use fully. I say likely, but the moment I say that is when a giant patch of biters just walks past everything and eats my base. That is not what I want to see. So I'm just going to very sloppily throw these down. These aren't meant to kill everything. It's more of a, as long as they have coverage and they start shooting something, I will be notified that they're shooting something. And then I can be concerned about what they are shooting. I wish there was a way to, and there may be, but I don't know it, but I wish there was a way to pick exactly how much it places in one of these so that I could say, please only place 25 rounds in this turret. And I know that one's got 100. Let's grab that. How many turrets did I place down? It did not seem like this many when I was placing them. There we go. Alright. Well, it leaves us a little bit of room to keep expanding, and that will simply tell me that things are angry at me and on the way. Which Should give me time to get over here. I may actually throw a turret or two down in this area just in case something slips by. I really, really don't want this area to be destroyed. And I am just going to leave these with a good bit of ammo in them. Not going to sweat counting it out, but that'll help just in case something sneaks by. It's not going to stop a massive wave, but it'll certainly give me time to get up here and prevent them from destroying everything. I feel pretty accomplished with this mall right here. That's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for watching. I'll see y'all next time.